Hey everybody, it's Vince from Spradley Kia here in Southern Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado to be exact. And today I have a treat for you. I have a rare 2023 LX Carnival with the seat package 3.5 liter V6 multi-purpose vehicle that is not sold. So that's why I say a rare treat, because all of our Carnivals have been pre-sold, which is amazing, but it is a very striking vehicle. People are loving the redesign from the Sedona, and honestly, we cannot keep them in stock. So again, I'm gonna go over some everyday features that the everyday customer might want to see. If you are new to my channel, that's what I do here. It's not something, I don't go into torque and all the technical stuff, really just the everyday features that the average person would enjoy. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. It definitely helps me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and let's wait for that motorcycle to go by. There we go, 1,000 subscribers, and I am almost there. So let's get right to it. So this is the deep chroma blue with the black interior. Right away from the front, you see the tiger nose grille with your new Kia script badging, which has been around for almost 2 years now. I keep saying new, but they started in the 2021s, and we're on 2023s right now. So again, this is a 2023 Carnival. There's kind of the side view. I love the daytime running lights on this vehicle. You can see them right here. They have that cool, almost zigzag shape, along with your LED lights. Now this vehicle has remote start, so let's see if I can turn it on for you. Now one thing that's really cool about the key fob is, again, you have remote start. You can open and close both doors, the sliding doors from the fob. You can have your little panic button there and lock and unlock. So to remote start, you just press and hold the lock button, and then you press and hold this guy for 5 seconds. To turn it off, you just got to press it once. So I'm going to come along here to the back and kind of show you some cool things. Here's the gas cap. It is on the driver's side. If you're new to Kias, they are on the driver's side. It's a push and pop, which is really cool. So if the car is open, you can just push it with your finger and it'll open. If the car is locked, it will not open. So I'm gonna lock it. Nothing. So kind of cool. Coming along to the back, what I really like that Kia is doing is they are not putting the badging on the back for the trim levels. So this is a Carnival LX, but you do not have the LX on the right hand side over there, so you don't know if it's an LX or it's an EX. You kind of have to figure that out by other cues from the outside of the vehicle. But you do have the script badging along the middle there, along with your reflectors and your backup lights, which is really cool. Now one place where Carnival really shines is, people think that the Telluride is our biggest vehicle. It is not. It's actually the Carnival. So if you are looking for space to like, let's say you're going camping, or if you have kids in sports and you really need a lot of space for that kind of thing, you can just press a little button right here. It opens, and then you have all this room in the back. So I have the third row seats down, and you can see how much room is behind the second seat. That middle seat there, it's called the seat package because that little seat folds down, and then you have a table with cup holders and cell phone holders. I'll show you that more when I get into the second row. But that also slides back and forth. See this track right here? You can slide that table all the way back, so when you have your third rows open, that table can be used for your back row passengers, or it can be scooted all the way forward. It is multi-purpose. You can take all the seats out, so if you can see the tracks down there, what's up with all the motorcycles all of a sudden? If you take the tracks down there, you can pop those seats out by the series of all those pulley tabs, as you see there. Just follow the instructions and it'll allow you to do it. First time you take them out is super easy. Putting them back in it can be a little bit cumbersome the first time, but once you figure out how to line up the tracks to snap them in, it actually is pretty smooth and pretty easy the second and third and fourth time around. But that first time, you're gonna get some frustration. Trust me, I've shown it many times to customers, and I always let them do it, and I just instruct them so they have that muscle memory. And it's always a pain in the butt the first time, but not the second and third. So back here in your third row seating, you do have your USB ports. So you have one in each wall. And then when you have your seats folded up, you do have your seatbelt hooks there. So the seatbelts aren't just flying around all willy-nilly. You have a 12-volt port back here as well. So you do have power in the rear. And then you have your instructions for stow and go. So there's the instructions there. Super easy to use. You have child anchor locks, child hooks in the back right there, but it's super easy to extend. You have your handle here, push up, so you do one-handed, push that over, got your little pull tab string, pull it up. I'm gonna have to use two hands. There we go, pull it up. So kind of can do it one-handed, and then you have all this depth down here. So I mean, you have plenty of room to store coolers and bags and sports bags and overnight bags and any kind of bag you could possibly imagine. You have your little cubbies over here as well, so you have some extra cubbies to store things. And your tire and jack kit, if I'm not believe, is behind this panel. You don't want to use that for anything because it's already multi-purpose there. So pretty functional third row, very functional cargo space. Again, a lot of people think Telluride's got the most space. It's actually the Carnival that has the most space. Easy to close, no auto liftgate in the LX model, but an easy just pull down. Once it hits your center of gravity, it kind of just falls very, very nicely. All right, let's go to the second row. Second row, this is where your little kids are probably gonna spend the most of their time. There's many ways to open this car. So you have the buttons right here on the door handles. You have them on the sliding doors as well. If you have your keys in your pocket or your purse, you can just press those buttons and it locks. You can set it up to press it twice and it unlocks all the doors. You can, like I said, open the doors from the key fob, or you can just pull the handle and then she slides right open. There's also two other ways to open the doors. You have a button here on the B pillar right there, and that'll open and close the doors as well. And then up in the driver's position on the left hand panel, you have a space to open and close the doors also. So just want to get a quick look here of the seats. Again, this is the black interior with the seat package. These seats are pretty cool. You have armrests on them so they articulate. That way you can rest your arm pretty comfortably. You have multiple points of articulation, so that's kind of cool if you want to sit a little higher up or sit a little higher, a little lower. These seats are pretty easy. Like I said, they come right out, and they have child anchor locks. So right here in the seat, you can see your child anchor locks for the car seats, and then you can manipulate these seats pretty well. So you pull this guy here, that'll fold it down. This lever here will fold it down and kind of push it up, and then you have your bar underneath. Your bar underneath will slide it backwards and forwards on this track. So again, it has multiple points of positioning. Super, super cool. So let me hop in real quick. There's the seat package part of the LX seat package. So you have a nice table. You know, you can set coloring books on there, you can set food on there. You have your cell phone holders right there along with cup holders. There's more cup holders than people in this car. You have two, one in each door, so that's 4. You have 2 right here, so that's 6. You have 2 in the center, so what is that, 8. 2 in the doors there, so that's what, 10. And then you have 2 actually in each side, so that's 10, 12, 14. There's 14 places to put drinks in this thing, so that's pretty cool. You have your sensors back there, so When you turn the car off, there is a feature that you can use that says check your rear for passengers. So if you you know, if you're prone to leaving kids in the car, that's one way to remind you. But we kind of do our part to prevent as much of that as possible. You have your little hooks on the back seat, which are kind of cool. So if you're the driver and you have your purse, you can, or your any kind of bag, you can hang it right there, and you can do like an easy cross reach there into your bag, which is pretty neat. You have a 12-volt port in this guy here, so you can have your second row passengers, you know, plug in something there for power, charge your device, and then you kind of have like a little shelf down here, not too deep, but you know, you can store things there. You have your map pockets for those of us that still use maps. And then you have your climate control. So you have climate control back here in the second row. You can also, as the driver, lock the climate so people back here can't manipulate it. But if you trust your little ones back here to do their own climate, they can from that position. You have your little handles here you hold on to, and then you have your hook there for your garments, and then you have your rear vents here, which you can open and close as well. Rear lighting, and then there's just a view of the third row. Plenty of legroom, an insane amount of legroom, to be honest. So pretty cool. This seat is like I said, it is what makes the LX seat package the LX seat package. Very useful, very versatile. You have the bar right there that you can use to slide it backwards and forwards, and then just to move the seat up, there is a lever on the other side, which is pretty useful. And if you wanted to take that middle seat out and have captain's chairs, you can. You got it. Everything's removable, customizable. Definitely make it any which way you want to do it. So let's come up to the cabin. So as the driver, as the owner, as the person who's paying for this thing, you are probably going to be spending a lot of your time up here. And we got some cool amenities up here for you. So you have your child locks right there for the windows. Let me anchor that down a little bit. Sorry, child locks right there for the windows. You can control all the windows right there, lock and unlock, and then your mirror controls, pretty standard. Even on a base model, you have the 10-way power seats for this LX. And then you have your, right here on your left hand side, you have your illumination button, your lane keep assist, traction control, and then you can again open and close the doors right there. You can also turn the power doors off, which is kind of cool. And I don't remember seeing that in the 2021, and I'm sorry, 2022s. So I wonder if that's a 2023 feature. They didn't change much in 2023, to be honest, because these guys are so brand new. But my memory, I don't remember that guy right there. Okay, let me hop in. So you have a push button start, which is really neat. So all you do is put your foot on the brake, press that guy, and then she starts. It'll say system check every time you turn the vehicle on, so it'll show you like issues with the engine, transmission, any kind of door that's open. Like right there, I don't know if you can see, but it does show in red that my driver passenger door is open. So I'm just going to go ahead and press and close that. It is now complete and we are ready to drive. So a lot of room up here. The last person that sat here had the seat real close, but let me scoot back a scotch. But a lot of room. So starting with the steering wheel, you have your volume controls and your tuner controls for your radio, answer a call, and you have this cool customizable button there. So anything with a star is a customizable button. So if I press that, this screen should pop up and say, what do you want to do? Do you want it to be quiet mode? Do you want it to activate voice memo, privacy? Most people honestly are going to use the reject end call. That's just because that's what we're kind of accustomed to with that button, but Kia does give you the option. So now if you were to get a call, I've set it up to where this button can be reject a call. Your digital assistant, your voice assistant there, if you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto activated, that'll be Siri. Your different modes for your radio, and then on this side here you have your center dash control with the toggle switch that goes with it to go up and down. So what that means is if I press that button that looks like 2 pages, I will navigate through this screen right here. My favorite screen is this one. It tells you your, oops, that's the chip screen. My favorite screen is, where is it? There you go, it's that one. So it tells you your accumulated miles for the chip. I guess it was the one I was on originally. And then you can reset that at any time. I was toggling through using this toggle button right here again. So you can see how you can do since refueling. You can do accumulated info, so that's for the life of the vehicle. This has only been driven 26 miles, so no one's driven it yet. And then you have your old-fashioned digital speedometer there, which a lot of people like. Even though you have the speedometer right here too, a lot of people I've noticed really like that digital speedometer right there. You do have your fuel gauge on the bottom right, and this one is ready to be sold. So you get a full tank on a brand new key at my dealership, and that is 384 miles till empty. Pretty nifty. You have your light controls over here on this stick, which I always like to turn to auto. That way you never have to fiddle with your lights. It's not going to drain your battery. You just your lights go on and off as the sun goes up and down. And then you have your wiper stick over here, pretty standard, pretty self-explanatory. And then you can control your rear wiper right there too. So not too shabby. If I was delivering this car to a customer, I'd say any questions about that, but we're gonna scoot right along. So you have your infotainment screen, which I really like. So it's kind of built into the dash right here in the LX model. It is not a big LCD screen. I mean, you do have some plastic components right here, which I don't think take away from the aesthetics of this vehicle at all. But you do have your physical knobs for tuner and for volume, and then you also have, again, right here, this little star. That is anytime you have a star, you have a customizable button. So you can go right to the home screen, Bluetooth audio, your phone projection, quiet mode, turning the display on and off, that's a weird one, and then just have it for nothing. I think on something like that button, I would probably put quiet mode, because this is a people mover, so you're gonna have kids in the back or people in the back. So what quiet mode does, I'm gonna press little house takes you home, all menus, quiet mode. What quiet mode does is when you have your radio on or anything that's playing volume, it'll automatically turn that down to volume level 7, and it'll only play the volume in the front speakers. So what that means is if you have people sleeping in your second or third rows, they're not going to hear the music as much, because the speakers are only going to be set to level 7 up front, and it's going to give them that, that quietness. So that's kind of cool. Little arrow takes you back. So if we go back a step, if I gotta press it, then you go back kind of here to your all menu. Bluetooth, hands-free, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's what phone projection is. It is not wireless, so you do have to have a USB cord to have that, because it does not use a wireless connection. Please connect. Oh, look, it does. This one does. So yeah, this model does have wireless. That's kind of cool. It's got to be because I know our higher trim levels are Samsung screens, like they're legit Samsung screens. That's why they don't have wireless Apple CarPlay. That's what we've been told by our Kia rep. But I know our lower end models on the K5 have wireless Apple CarPlay. So this guy also has a wireless Apple CarPlay, which is kind of cool. So a lot of people always ask that, or they always complain about that dude, why doesn't it have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? That is cool that this guy does. And then media will take you to the items on your phone. Click setup real quick. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of this, but obviously I just want to show you a couple of things. Remember, I said you can set the climate up front. So if you click climate, you can have your climate settings right here, and then you can go through different features. You can lock the rear climate controls like I was saying right there, or you can manipulate the rear climate controls right there. Little house always takes you back to the main screen, and that is obviously where your radio is. If you tap that, it's going to take you right into the radio, and to set or deset presets, all you do is change that star. The star is how you set a preset. Find the station you like with the tuner, and then press the star. This vehicle has a great backup camera, so when I throw it into reverse, you're going to see the backup camera with the guidance. So you can see that right there, so you can navigate backwards and forwards and kind of just know exactly where you're going. If you need to swing into a parking space at the field and you want to park backwards, that's a great way to do it. You have this little button right there, and that'll take you in your different camera modes, and this guy kind of has like a tow mode. This does tow, what, 3,500 pounds if I'm not mistaken, 3,500 pounds. So you definitely can tow with this, and they do come with an optional tow hitch, or you can always have one installed. And there would be your tow mode right there, which is kind of cool. And then you can just have your settings for your rear camera. I'm gonna go ahead and put that guy back in drive. Scooting right along, let's go into climate. So even though this is like a LX base seat package, so it's not a higher trim level, it's definitely a smaller trim level. You do have your 3 controls here for your directions, your power, your blowing speed for your climate, and then you also have your temp right there. You adjust your rear climate right here as well. You see rear is on, you can turn that off, and then you can even hear I could hear the fan. So here's your, if you want it cold or hot, and then you can hear that fan. Turn the rear back off, turn this back on for me, and then super easy to manipulate. Down here you have your charging port, your USB port, and then another charging port. You will also use that as a charging port as well. Many ways to charge an item in this car. Again, you have your 2 cup holders with a cell phone holder right there. You have auto hold, electronic parking, and drive mode. You have your heated seats, forward parking sensors that should be on, your camera button, so if you press that you can go right to the camera right there just by pressing the camera button without being in reverse. So that's kind of cool. And then you have again your heated seats for both driver and passenger. Drive mode, if we go back to drive mode real quick, take a look at the screen here. When I press drive mode, it's going to be over here. You have your eco, you have your sport, you have your smart and normal. I like to be in eco. I think in this kind of vehicle you're fine with that, but if you do want to kind of feel that tight suspension and really drive the crap out of this car, you can by throwing it into sport. Auto hold's kind of fun. I use auto hold a lot, especially when I'm picking up my kid from practice, or if I'm at like a drive-through or something. It is a way to kind of put you in park, and so you could take your feet off the pedals and relax a bit. So let's go into drive. So I'm in drive, I got my foot on the brake. If I release I'm going to roll forward. So I'm going to put my foot on the brake and then press auto hold. So again, that button right there. Watch that screen, press it. You have auto hold in green. Now I can take my feet off the brake. So my feet are now off the pedals, I'm resting, and I am in a hold position. So the second I want to go, all I have to do is put my foot on the accelerator. That's it. So if I just hit the gas, boom, now there I go. So I use it a lot, like I said, at drive-throughs or at picking up my kid from softball. It's just a way to be in park. And so once you press it again in 1 revolution, so that's 1 car cycle, then it'll turn auto hold off. And so if you press it and have auto hold on and then engage, and then see how auto holds in white, if I stop and I put my foot down on the brake kind of hard, it'll go to green, and so it'll throw me back into auto hold. So again, like 1 revolution. As long as the car is on and you haven't turned it off yet, all you have to do is repress your foot back on the brake and it'll re-engage the auto hold. Kind of cool. Big cubby space right there, pretty deep, and it's a nice little armrest here for comfort. I'm a fan. We're kind of running out of time here. This is kind of a longer video than I expected. You have your swipes there for your lights. Oops, gotta turn them on. There we go. And then you can, oh, they're not swipe, okay. Sorry, in the higher trim levels you could just swipe them, but you have your buttons here and here. I should know that. And then also how you want your lights to turn on. If you open the door and they come on, or you can kind of customize that as well. You have your pretty cool little mirror there, kind of an edge-to-edge design, which I like. There's not a big edge right here, so it's definitely easy to use and easy to see. And a very big, what do they call that? Glove box. Very big glove box. So pretty cool. All right. Well, if you made it this long, I want to thank you again for watching. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe. It definitely does help. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's just go park this on the lot. So just gonna go forward here, and if you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I do try and get to most of them. You know, I have a busy day most days, but it's one of those things where if I can answer your comments or questions, I will definitely try and get to them. And these guys are insanely popular. They drive smoothly. People love them. They kind of look like a SUV more than a minivan, so that's why we call it a multi-purpose vehicle. But you know, we cannot keep them in stock whatsoever. Like, people love the crap out of these things. Going right back into park, and I am up front with my 2 other cars. I have a Sportage there in jungle green, and I have, I think, a Telluride, which is getting sold right now, but that thing was ordered 9 months ago. So again, thanks you for watching, and this is Vince at, I will see you down at the dealership. Thanks, guys.